Coach, obviously, if you guys had finished second in the group, you would have had a little bit of shorter travel, and you've been playing the same lineup, so there might be some fatigue. Do you see fatigue as a factor given all the travel and the amount of games that the guys have played so far?
So far, so good. I mean, all the teams, have travel schedules and play their rhythm of games, and you schedule, can go kind of team by team, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We had a tough one 2 years ago in Brazil. Went to beautiful Manaus in between two games, and it all worked out fine. I think the players are used to that, and they are just now they are hungry for more. This is a big game tomorrow night here in beautiful Seattle. We are thrilled to play in front of that crowd, but it's got to be a lot of work. It's going to be a nail biter like the last one with Paraguay, but there's a good chance. I mean, it's a 50-50 game, and we are hungry to go into the semifinals.
Doug, right here.
Jürgen, speaking of Brazil, there's a lot of players on your team that were involved in that Belgium game 2 years ago. A lot of guys are likely to be in the lineup in a knockout game and growing together as a group in the 2 years since coming to play tomorrow night.
I think it's a real good thing. It's if you go through our roster, obviously between two World Cups, you try to bring young players through the ranks, and make them grow, which we're doing in a couple of cases really well. But it definitely helps a lot to have players here on board that know how to play those games. I mean, if you go position by position and you compare both teams, obviously we have a lot of respect for players, on the Ecuadorian side, if it's Antonio Valencia, Ena Valencia, Noboa, if it's, Monteo on the left, you can go through their lineup. It's a wonderful team. But then I go through our team. We have leaders in there that played, as you said, they played 2 years ago in Brazil and made things happen. Michael Bradley, an outstanding captain there, Jermaine Jones, a warrior, Clint Dempsey, hungry as always. You go through every position, and we're there. We can absolutely compete with these guys. And now it's down to the momentum. It's down to that kind of performance, right? Just you got to peak at the right time. Hopefully they're going to peak tomorrow.
Let's go, Jeff.
Jürgen, obviously Michael Orozco is one of the candidates to fill in for DeAndre tomorrow, but I was wondering if you could just describe, what are his attributes, because obviously he was somewhat of a controversial inclusion, but what does he bring to the team?
Oh, he's an absolute logical inclusion in his roster because he's always been there when we needed Michael. He's an outstanding individual, very focused. He's doing his job down south the border on the very highest level. And I went down there myself. I watched Tijuana play Monterrey. Monterrey even has, play on the field tomorrow night on the Ecuador side with Walter Jovi. And he went through a tough stretch there. He didn't play in first team for quite a bit, but he played every reserve team game. Then they played that game prior to their first team. So I saw him play. I saw that he's in shape. He's good. Michael has always been there for the team. He's always, he's never complained when he maybe was a specific game. Every time he came in, he did his job. So he's a very, very special individual.
Down end right here.
Jürgen, hi. After the first game, the Colombia game, there was a lot of criticism from the press, the fans, whatever. Do you think the team has sort of used that as a bit of a rallying cry to bond together a little bit?
Against Colombia, a lot of people maybe don't see that or it doesn't really sell, when you lose a game 2-0. But from the beginning on, with the preparation games, he has a very positive, good atmosphere. And we knew that's going to be a difficult task to get out of that group, So after that first loss, it was down to win the next one, which we did convincingly, and then the next one, which was a nail-biter with Paraguay, and you got to give all the teams there a lot of respect that you play against, So this is just a normal kind of process that you're going through. Important is that the team learns to deal with setbacks, negative results, they know why, that result happened a certain ways that you talk the team through that process and then, react the right way in the next game. So, group stage is about gaining your points over 3 games. Knockout stage, which is starting now, is a completely new tournament. It's do it or go home, so this is really exciting time now.
All right, we'll go to Ivis and then Grant in the back. So Ivis up here first, then Grant in the back.
Jürgen, what have you thought of the defensive work of your wingers, Bedoya and Zardes, and how important is that work going to be against an opponent like Ecuador?
I think they are getting stronger and stronger. If you look back 2 years ago in Brazil, our wingers in that moment was Ale and was Graham. They had to deal a lot, with the fullbacks from the other teams going forward. Often they were pushed backwards, and now they learned, and Jazzy's in that learning kind of path right now to push their fullbacks back, to make an impression on them. So to take the game to them. That's what we talked over the last couple of years. Learn how to take the game to the opponent, even if you have a lot of respect for them. So I think Ale comes from a strong last couple of months in France with Nantes. Jazzy he's just growing. He's a tremendous kid, giving everything he has, and he can only get better. He's only learning. So both of them are doing really well right now for the team. It is vital. I mean, you look at their fullbacks, who they are and where they play. It's that again, they deserve respect. There's no fear. It's no fear. It's going to be interesting matchup all over the field, 1-against-1s. These 1-against-1s all over the field will decide this game. So you got to win your battle.
Grant, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Jürgen, after the last game, you talked about wanting your guys to have the courage to play a high defensive line. You may not have thought you were going to play Ecuador. These guys have a lot of speed on the flanks. They have a lot of speed at center forward. You're missing Yedlin's speed. Do you still want your guys to have that courage to play a high back line?
Oh, absolutely. I think, it's important that you kind of stick to your beliefs in what you want to build, and obviously you adjust to certain moments in the game. When it requires that we drop a second, we can do that too. I think we can hit our opponents with some counter breaks the same way they might want to do it with us. We are good in that as well. But in general, I think our backline is doing a tremendous job so far by keeping it higher up, to go eye to eye with them and continuing that learning curve that we started a while ago. So no, we tell them tomorrow, be courageous, go at them. It's a 90-minute battle.
All right, last couple for Jürgen. We'll go right there.
Buenas tardes, señor Klinsmann. ¿Qué le preocupa de Ecuador? Sobre todo comparando el último juego que tuvieron amistoso en la ciudad de Dallas hace unas semanas.
No, I mean, obviously, as I said before, we have a lot of respect for that team. It's not the same team that we played a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, now is Antonio Valencia is there, Walter Jovi is there. They have, a couple of their key players back. They were not in Dallas that day. But still, it was a good test for us that we can play with them. We can compete with them, So it's gonna be a very even game. Moment, it might go into penalty shootout. So hopefully we are good prepared for that one as well.
Last one to Martin, right there.
Jürgen, when you spoke about John Brooks the other night, you spoke about the need to keep him grounded a little bit. However, having said that, what you've seen from him in the last few games and over the past year, how optimistic are you about his future at this moment in time?
Well, we are very optimistic about his future. Young player, very eager to learn, good listener, and becoming just more, as we said, over the last couple of weeks, more consistent on the training field. Kind of reflects in what happens in the game, but also I think they just learn at that age, 20, 21, 22, 23, they learn how to live a professional lifestyle. It's a big learning curve. So we were happy when he prolonged his contract at Hertha Berlin. you know, and he's in good, very, very good hands there, and he will only get better. So he stays grounded. We made sure the last couple of days that he hopefully goes for another big performance.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Jürgen.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, everybody. We'll get everyone into the mix zone now and get some players momentarily.
Me conecté, pues van a tiranear.